Hi everyone, so I'm going to be doing an example on how we can do an add pop-up and then close the pop-up. So I'm just going to create a brand new project here on my desktop, and I'll go to my desktop and then I'll say npx create next app, and I'm going to be creating a pop-up ad, so I'll call it Popup Ad example. And let me see if I don't have that yet. What we want to do is when it asks for TypeScript, say no, ESLint no, src no, experimental app no, import alias, just hit enter, you don't have to do anything. And we'll just wait for this to finish here. And once this is done, I'm just going to drag and drop this folder over. And right here we can start modifying the page. I'm going to go into my index.js. And what I'll do is I'm just going to delete this inter part and this one as well for the import because I just don't need it. And what I'll do is in between the main tag here, I'm just going to delete everything. And I should just have this default template set up just like this. And what I want to do now is I actually want to create some sort of ad, and it's going to pop up on the screen. So I'll just say, welcome to the home page. And I'm just going to run it just so you can see that it's nothing special right now. And what I'll do actually is in the styles, I will just modify this a little bit so I don't have any stuff in here. So what I'll do is I'll just delete everything in the globals, delete everything in the home, save it, and now I'll just do npm run dev, and it should just be a basic site. And it shows that it's on localhost 3001. And if I go to localhost 3001, we have it right here. Let me just double check. I think I didn't save one of these pages here. Let me save it. And I'll go back. There we go. So it should just be a regular message here, just welcome to the home page. And what we want to do is when this page shows up, I want to just display the pop-up first. And then I'll be able to click the X button and close the pop-up and just see the home page. So what I'll do here is in my index.js, I will have this, but I'll also make a components folder at the root. So I'll say new folder, components, and I'll make another folder inside of the components, and I'll say add. And this add folder, I will just create an index.js, and then I'll also create a add.module.css because that's where we will add our styles. And for this one, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to set up this add first. What I'll do is I will set up the default template. And above the export, I will just import a few items here, useState, and I'll also import styles from /add.module.css. And what we want to do here is we're going to set up a pop-up, and we're going to have to use a ternary operator with the useState, whether we show or hide certain areas. So if you don't know what ternary operators are yet, you should watch some of my other videos and it'll help you out. But here in between the export and return, we're going to set up a useState, popup, set popup is equal to useState. I'll say true. So I'll set it to true, so then it will show up right away when the page loads. And what we'll do is add the curly brace, and we'll say popup. So if popup is true, then what we'll do here is we'll have a div, and we'll add some stuff to it. But also at the end, like if it's not true, then we'll just have a closed, like empty bracket. And so if it's true, we want to display the pop-up. If it is false, then we'll display nothing. So in between this div here, we're gonna just set up a few more things here, and we'll have a div which will have the text close, and then here we'll put some sort of message welcome, and we'll just say class name is equal to, and we'll say styles.container. And then for this div, we'll have class name is equal to styles.popup__area. And for this close, we are going to have to interact with this useState. So since it is true right now, if they want to close this pop-up, so they want to set this pop-up to false so it displays nothing, then we need to have this onClick on the close. So onClick is equal to, inside the curly brace bracket, we're just putting these rounded brackets with the arrow, because this will say only run this when we actually click on the closed text. And then we'll call set popup, and then in here the rounded brackets we'll change it to false. So once they click it, it changes from true to false. So now when this ternary operator looks at it, the value of popup, since it is false, then it's going to look at the false and it'll close, it'll just be empty. But because we want to stylize it to be at the center of our screen, we have to use these styles. So I've set up this class name container and also pop-up area. So let's actually add some styles in our add.module.css, and we'll put .container. You can change these styles to anything you like if you want. I'm just gonna do something basic right now. So this container will just encompass and cover everything on screen. And then the .popup__area is where we're going to actually have we're going to center this pop-up. And I'll just make it a background of yellow for now, it doesn't matter. Alright, so I have this, just the basic template of stylizing. You can change it to anything else you'd like, it doesn't matter. For right now, I just want to, now that we have this pop-up completed, we actually have to import it on our home page here. So in order to import it in our index.js in our pages, we have to import add, and you can see it shows up already if I just hit enter, and it goes into the components and grabs the add, and we don't have to reference index.js because it's an automatic given that whenever you go somewhere, it'll look for the index.js. So now we can just add this to our page, and we'll just call add, and we'll save it. And now let's try going back to our page here. I'm going to refresh it. And you can see when it refreshes, it automatically opens this pop-up. We have the word close and welcome. If I click close, you can see now, you can see welcome to the home page, because this pop-up automatically shows up because it's set to true at the beginning. If we go back to our code, here in our index.js in our add, we can see true means it will be open, so it'll show the pop-up. But once I hit that close button or close text, it will set the pop-up to false. So now in the ternary operator of pop-up, whenever it looks for a pop-up, it will look at the false side. So since it's not true, it will be false. So it's going to be empty and nothing will show up. And now we just will see this home screen which says, "Welcome to the home page."